Now we are going to discuss the problem prefixing of today's Codechef contest. Let's first start with reading of the problem and then I will explain the question in simple terms. The problem we have been given with an array A of size n. Construct an array B of size n such that every element of B is present at least once in A. So B is our empty array and we are forming a B that is initially empty array from the given array A in such a way that every element that will be in the B will also present at least once in A. Okay, and for all I greater than equal to 1 and lesser than equal to n, so they have taken one base indexing. So for all the prefixes, by all prefixes I mean prefix a1, then prefix a1 a2, a1 a2 a3 and so on up till n. So for each and every prefixes, every element which is present in prefix a1 to ai should be present at least once in prefix of b1 to bi. And if multiple such array b exist, then find the lexicographically largest b. They have given the definition of what they mean by lexicographically largest element. So we will be discussing this also while I will explain you the question once again. So I guess that was it. That was the question, and now let's try to understand question in the simpler terms. Given to us in the input is array A, and what we have to output is array B. And initially, they have told us that initially our array B is empty, and over the time we'll be filling up this array B based on certain conditions that they have given to us. And if multiple array b's exist, suppose there are conditions that are given to us, that is condition 1, condition 2. If this condition is satisfied, then we will be putting some elements into array b. Let's say whatever is the condition, respect to the condition, let's say we formed array b, one of the array, that is b1, and let's say it is also possible to form another type of array, that is array b2, array b3 and so on. Let's say multiple arrays are possible. So what do they mean by lexicographically first? So by lexicographically, what they mean is, let's say in array b1 at index I, at any index I means generally at any index I, let's say some element is present that is b1 of I. And similarly in array 2, let's say at any generalized index I, element is present that is. So what do they mean by lexicographically largest array? So let's say if we have we have considered, so after satisfying the condition, let's say we have two arrays, that is b1 and b2, and let's say in this array at any index I there is one element b1 of I, and in b2 let's say at any index similar index I, that is b2. So here ith, considering that ith is the smallest index, ith is the smallest index at which both of this number, that is b1 of I and b2 of I is different. So considering that I is the smallest index at which b1 of I and b2 of I is different, then at that point if my b1 of I comes out to be greater than b2 of I, then my array b1 is said to be lexicographically greater than b2. Look at the condition that is given to us. So the condition that is given to us, there are two conditions basically. So condition 1 that is given to us is every element of B, means whatever you are going to put in B, that is let's say B of I is the element that belongs to B. So for every element Bi that belongs to B, it should be present at least once in A. This is the first condition. And the another condition, that is condition 2 is, so if in array A, let's say by prefix what they mean is, let's say prefix A1, so this is one prefix, then after that if you take I is equal to 2, then the prefix will be A1 A2. If you take I is equal to 3, then the prefix will be A1 A2 A3. So now what they are trying to convey is that in the array B there will be also the same type of prefix as it is present in array A. So for in array B also there is the presence of prefix B1, there is presence of prefix B1, B2, B1, B2, B3. Now what they are trying to say is whatever element is present in this prefix, let's say this element A1 is 5 and let's say A2 is 4. So they should be at least present once in this prefix, means B1 should be 5 and B2 should be 4, or in other case B1 should be 4 and B2 should be 5. It means that they must occur at least once. Let's say if A1 is 5 and E2 is 4 and let's say B1 is 5, then and let's say B2 is again 5. So this condition is not possible because at least once 4 has to occur in this prefix also. Okay, so I hope the conditions are also clear. What we have to do is we have to just satisfy both the conditions, that is condition 1 and condition 2. And if condition 1 and condition 2 are satisfied, and if we are end up with multiple possible formation of array B, let's say B1, B2, B3 and so on. So then then out of all of this we have to select one which is lexicographically largest. And I have already explained you the meaning of lexicographical largest as well as these two conditions. So I hope now the question is clear to you. So now let's move on to the logic part, and I hope that question is clear to you. Now I will take one example and it will be really helpful to you to understand this question in a better way using this example. So let me take one example. We have also been given with some example over here, but I won't be taking this example as you won't be able to learn anything from this example that they have given to you. These are intentionally given examples, so you can't make any logic or form any intuitions from this. So let us take one of the example. First of all, only one test case we are taking, just one test case, and the length of the array that we are going to take is, let's say, 4. And now my original array as an input, that is A, that I'm going to take as an input will be, let us just consider it as 5 comma 4 comma 4 comma 5 comma 7. Okay, so this is my array. What? Okay, let me just increase the number of element to 5. Okay, so now this is our array, that is 5 4 4 5 7. Now we have to use both of those condition, means both of those conditions should be satisfied, and use by along with satisfaction of both those conditions we have to also check if our resultant array is lexicographically largest array of all the possible arrays or not. So now let's try to form the array B, starting with the first element. Okay, so as we know that one of the condition is that at least at least all the elements that is present in particular prefix should be present inside B. That is one of the condition that is given to us. So let's say if we want to satisfy that condition, first of all the first prefix is A1. So in A1 there is only one element, that is element 5. So is 5 present in our array B? So no, 5 is not present, but according to condition it should be present at least once. So we have to write it as it is, that is 5. Now let's come to the second element, that is 4. Now again my prefix will become A1 A2. This will become my prefix. Now I will be checking in my array B that uh, 4 is 4 already present in my array B at least once. So no, it is not present. But according to one of the condition, if any element which is appearing in any of the prefix in A should be present at least one in the same prefix of B. So in the prefix of B1 and B2, at least once 4 should be present, but it is not present right now. So rather than thinking much, or rather than thinking about to take the maximum element or anything, we have to first satisfy this condition of prefix, then and then we can look out for the maximum and all the other things for it. So first of all, we can see that the element 4 is not present, so it has to be over here, because if we don't add this element, at least one in this prefix, over here only one of the condition will become false and we will not be able to make a B array. That is, we will not be able to make a valid B array. So we have to put 4 over here so that it at least occur once in this prefix of B1, B2. Now let's go ahead. That is, now the prefix will become A1, A2, A3. So now in prefix A1, A2, A3, 5 should be present at least once, 4 should be at least present at least once, and over here also the element is same, that is 4. So that should be also present at least one in this prefix of B1, B2, B3. So yes, 5 is present at least one in this prefix, 4 is present at least one in this prefix. So now we will having multiple choices to put P3. Now we have to think that how we are going to put P3. So now the first choice is that just put this element as it is in B3, that is 4 as it is, or we can also put the maximum element which we have present till now. The maximum element till this prefix, that is A1, A2, A3 is 5. So we can also put 5, and over here within the entire array the maximum is 7. So we can also put 7 over here. There will be no harm, because the first condition was that in one of the prefix every element which is occurring in A should be present at least once in B. That is already satisfied over here. And moreover, what we want is we want lexicographically largest. If we lexicographically largest, then we have to take the largest element of out of all the possible conditions. So here we have the possibility of putting 4. Here we have also possibility of putting 5, or we can also put 7. So we will be taking the maximum out of this, so we can have our B as the lexicographically largest, and that is what we want. So I will be putting 7 over here, correct? And till here you can see our all the conditions are fulfilled. So let us now move forward. So A1, A2, A3, 4, A4. So in this prefix 5 should be present, 4 should be present, which is also true, and that's it. That's what they want. So over here also we have multiple choices, that we can also put 5, or we can put this one 5, that is the maximum 5, or we can put 7. So again I will choose the maximum, that is 7, and in the last position it is now clear to you, I guess, after following this, that it will be 7 only. So the final array, that is the lexicographically largest array, or I can say my answer to this input will become 5, 4, 7, 7, 7. So that's it. So this is how we are going to solve. So this is what I have tried to explain you using one example, that what are the possible conditions and in which condition what we are going to do. So I guess this example is clear to you. Now we will try to code this out. So now we will try to understand the code for this program, and I will try to explain you the code and the logic behind it using this example only. Whatever we have learned using this example, we are directly going to use it in our code. So first of all, I have just over here for this line, I have simply taken the input, that is int n, then number of elements in that particular array. I have already taken the test cases over here. That's why I have directly started with taking the input of the number of elements, then all the particular elements of that array that I have taken till here, and after that I am making something which is called as prefix max. So what I am doing over here, so what I'm trying to do over here is, let's say again I will try to explain using this example only. Let's say we have 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 5, 7 as my input. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make one vector which will be containing the maximum element which is present till that particular prefix. So let's say let's consider this prefix, that is a1 a2. So for a1 a2 prefix, the maximum element is 5. So at this index in my vector prefix, that is, let's say in pfx max at index number 1, that is on the second index, it will contain value as 5, because 5 is the maximum element for this particular prefix. Now similarly for this prefix, that is a1 a2 a3, again the maximum element that it is containing is 5. So at this location, that is index number 2, it will contain 5 and so on, and over here at last it will be containing 7. So what I am doing over here using my prefix max, I guess you are clear with that whole. So in this for loop I am doing that only, that I am traversing through each and every element, and I am checking. Actually I have already added the first element because we have to take it anyhow. There is no condition or nothing to think about the first element. It will come in my array B as it is present in my array. So I will be just pushing it into my prefix max. After that, for the remaining element, I will check if my remaining element is greater than the previous prefix that is present. Let's say we are considering prefix till 3. So if whatever element is present at index 3, if that is greater than the prefix value of prefix with length 2, then I will just add that particular element, and if that is not the case, then I will take forward that particular maximum prefix that I was getting for the previous one. And after that I have made one vector int answer. So this is for this will be storing my final answer, this B matrix you can say, and I will be at the end of the day I will be just printing that on the screen as they have told us to do. So now in between I've also made one unordered map. So now what is the purpose of this unordered map? So this unordered map will check. So while I was explaining you the example, for each and every element you have observed that I was checking that if it was already present or not. So over here, while I was making the prefix of length 3, that is a1 a2 a3, what I see over here that the element 4 was already present, and hence I had this multiple choices over here. So to check if the element is already present or not, to track that I am using map. So I will be moving through all the elements which is present in my input array, that is 5 4 4 5 7. For each and every element I will first check if it is already present in my map or not. If it is present in my map, it means I have already encountered that element. It means that that element has came into our array B at least once. So now we have multiple choices to take maximum in order to get the lexicographically largest. So what I will do, if it is not present, like when I have considered this case, that is the prefix of length 2, in that case the 4 initially was not there. So I have told you at that time that you don't have to brainstorm much, just keep 4 as it is, because if you don't put it, the condition that one of the condition was there that each and every element which is present in array A should be present at least once in that particular prefix of array B also. So that condition will not fulfill. So you have to put it as it is. You don't have any choice. So what I'm doing, that if that particular element is not in my map, it means I have not encountered at least once ahead, then I have to simply put that element as it is in my answer, or I can say my array B. And once I have put it, I can now track it, means I will be adding it to my map. And now if that is not the condition, means if this element is already present, that we have seen for this a1 a2 a3 prefix. So for this prefix, that element 4 was already present. So in that case we had multiple choices, and look what we have chosen from that multiple choices. We have selected the one with the largest value. So over here in my prefix max vector, the maximum element will be stored in the last index. Yes, that in my prefix maximum vector, my maximum value will be stored at the last index. That is very obvious. So that's why if this is not the case, then I have to always select the maximum. That's why I have written this one. And after that, you have to just simply print the output. So now let us try to submit this code. Okay, cool. So it is now accepted. Hope that I was able to explain you this solution. And still, if you have any query, you can ask me in the comment section. Or if you really understood this problem, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.